What's going on, traders? Julian here, wishing all of you guys a happy Friday, and I wanted to do this market recap for you guys. Now, the S&P over the last little while has not been doing so great. It's been stepping down, moving a little bit lower. We've got this massive complex head and shoulders that's forming. You can see there's a little bit of volatility in here, and we're producing that right-hand shoulder, and there is a very, very good possibility that this complex head and shoulders could break to the downside. Now, we did just the other day lightly touch the 50-day simple moving average and jumped higher. That is a key MA that a lot of people are watching and trading, and we bounced right off of that. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that we're out of danger's way just yet. If this complex head and shoulders breaks down based on a measured move at the neckline of 380, price action could lose about 20 to 25 points of value, which would put us below the 50-day simple moving average, which could potentially trigger selling. Okay, so something to watch out for on the S&P 500. Obviously, I'm doing all this on the SPY, the ETF that tracks the S&P 500. But what I wanted to show you is that while the SPY is moving lower and a lot of stocks are getting hammered, we're still trading long volatility. I'm going to start off with JE. Now, this is something this morning that popped up on the radar. This was a beautiful setup, beautiful trade. And essentially, just real quick, what I want to show you is that this thing rallied straight out of the gate, pulled back slightly, gave us some trendline resistance, beautiful little entry mode right through here, and then boom, popped through. 10% target on this, and this was taken off of the trade at 495 after entering at the 450 mark. So JE was a very, very beautiful trade. I did actually walk a whole host of people through this step by step, and again, this was a beautiful, very clean technical trade. Now, when we were jumping out of this, I then started paying attention to XTNT, and you'll actually see that XTNT had the exact same setup. So we had this beautiful move right in this general area. I gotta get this tool right through here. So you can see that XTNT rallied, pulled back, and then it was right through here where I started looking at this right here. There's the breakout. MACD is giving us a buy signal. This thing moves out, comes back, does a partial retest. And what I mean by partial retest is it breaks out and pulls back into that trend line resistance, now creating some trend line support, and then it moved from there. Now, the first target that I was talking about was high of day at 448. That expectation was not only hit, but it was greatly exceeded, and this one moved up into one of our higher profit targets. Now, again, I did not trade XTNT. I just sat, I watched, I was happy with what I did on JE, and I just wanted to participate in watching the market. I don't necessarily trade everything, especially when I come off of a good trade. I don't just arbitrarily jump into the next fantastic pattern. I generally will take a step back, take a deep breath, flatten my emotions out, and then get into the next trade. And XTNT was that next trade, and you can actually see right through here that it jumped. Some of our traders took it, some didn't. I personally did not, and I watched it. All in all, markets are volatile, selling off, making lows, creating huge bearish patterns that could potentially rock the market. I'm pretty sure that that news is correlated to macro events that are going on based on, Syria and whatnot. But what we were doing was following the strategy step by step, doing the same thing we always do, and we found two beautiful patterns that worked out perfectly today, and that is the market recap. If you have any questions, by all means, please feel free to reach out.